Let's talk about one of the most interesting elements on the periodic table, one of my favorites beyond potassium, radium. So radium is considered to be the most radioactive element on the periodic table. It was discovered by Marie Curie and can have some very interesting effects. So radium is a metal. It is produced by the decay of uranium. So when uranium decays, it produces radium. That's how it works. And radium is very radioactive. It decays and produces a lot of gamma rays and a lot of radon gas, which is highly toxic. My high school had a radon room in the basement that was just filled with radon gas. I went in there once with a teacher and a couple other students. We were doing some shit for grad executive, but yeah, my high school had a radon room. We love that for us. It was also full of asbestos. So as you can see here, this picture of radium is kind of shitty, kind of bad quality. That's because radioactive stuff is very hard to photograph because it messes with the film and like everything. It messes with the camera quality, so you can't really get good pictures of radioactive elements. Radium is also very bad for you. It increases your chance of getting pretty much every type of cancer because radiation fucks with your DNA, which causes cancer. It also causes a ton of problems if ingested. So like if you get it into your bodily system, your body treats it the same as it does calcium. Calcium is an essential nutrient in your body. It is taken into your bones in order to strengthen them. So when your body treats radium the same it does as calcium, it takes it and deposits it in your bones. But radium is not good for your bones. So when the radium gets deposited into your bones, you develop a lot of bone cancer, which isn't good. So some radioisotopes of radium, so different forms of radium, have a relatively long half-life of 1,000 or so years, but some of the less stable forms of radium have a half-life of about 3.5 days, which is very fast, and in that time it releases a lot of gamma radiation, which is not good for you. We don't love gamma radiation being absorbed by our bodies. If you're familiar with radium, you might also be familiar with radium girls, which is a very sad and very horrifying situation, but back when first radium was discovered, people discovered that it glows in the dark, which is super neat, and they were like, this shit is so cool, we love it, we're gonna put it in everything. That was before they knew it was highly radioactive and highly toxic and not good for you. But one of the most common things was on the hands and numbers of wristwatches so they could be read in the dark, which in theory sounds like a good idea. So the Radium Girls were a bunch of working class women who got employed in factories painting radium paint onto watch hands and numbers. They had to use a very fine paintbrush, which they had to get into a nice point by licking it and then dipping in the paint and painting the numbers on, rinse and repeat. However, as you may guess, the ingestion of radium paint into your face is not good. So people started noticing their teeth started falling out and their jaws started decaying while they were still attached to them. Not a good time. Lots of people died, lots of people were horribly disfigured, and there's a very spicy lawsuit over it. If you want to look up pictures, I'm not going to show pictures here because I don't want my account to be taken down. But yeah, very cool element, very toxic, don't ingest it, but it's just all around pretty neat.